Hey parents, it's Mr. Harris here. It's Tuesday evening, March 17th. We're on spring break this week, and I hope your break is going well for you and your family. Considering all the difficulties that we're facing as a country, I've spent the last couple of days looking through options that we have as a school as it relates to returning to school as we're scheduled to for next Monday, March the 23rd. And listening to the local officials, medical experts, what's being said by our governor, and what he's requesting at this point for schools in Tennessee, and listening to the president through press conferences and just talking to different folks who have insight on this. We are making the tough decision for us for the kindergarten up through fifth grade to be closed next week, March the 23rd through the 26th. That's Monday through Thursday. And then we will also be closed on Monday and Tuesday, March the 30th and 31st, the following week. At this point, the Little Warriors program, because of the size of the classrooms, that is our student numbers, we really feel like that we can continue on with the Little Warriors program because we have one class for our 4-year-olds that has 11 students in it with a teacher. We're not supposed to have more than 10 based on what the CDC is requiring right now, or saying best practices. We are quite certain that there's going to be more than a couple that will not be attending, maybe because parents choose not to or because they're home and they don't want them to come. So we're solid in our belief that we will have 10 or less in that class. Our 3-year-old class has 9 students with a teacher, that's 10, and we're pretty certain that 1 or 2 of them will not be here either. So as it relates to the Little Warriors program starting next Monday, we'll be open the rest of this week as we've talked about and scheduled with those who have said they need care for this week. But we'll go back to a regular schedule for our preschoolers next Monday morning, and you'll get an email from Miss Ginger with details about drop off and all of that stuff for the Little Warriors program. But back to the kindergarten to fifth grade. While that sounds like, you say, well, why are you closing? Well, I want you to know that by nature, I'm a contrarian. I don't follow conventional wisdom. I question pretty much everything. And I'm not quick to come to this decision. I could use I feel like if I had another calling, I would want to be a political analyst or commentator, but I think that the president has even used some verbiage here the last week in calling it a pandemic. And while you might say, and I feel the same way, I think there's only 80 some odd confirmed cases currently in the state of Tennessee. What are we worried about? And while I am no medical expert and don't mean to talk like this in the sense that I'm speaking on behalf of what a medical expert would say, from what I'm understanding, it is the danger of not using these best practices and allowing groups to congregate and not knowing where different family members are during the day and who they're connecting with, and then they bring it and spread it to someone else, then the kids come here and spread it, and that's how things get out of control. I don't want that on my conscience. So this has not been an easy decision for me to arrive at. So I wanted to give you the solution. You might say, well, okay, if we're going to be out of school next week, March the 23rd to the 26th, and the following week, Monday and Tuesday, March the 30th and 31st, that's 6 days of school. How do we make that up? Well, we have been working pretty much all day yesterday and all day today, coming up with a conclusion and a solution rather on how to do that. And let me say first, before I tell you what the solution is for those kindergarten to fifth grade students, if I were guessing, just giving you my guess, I think that it will be somewhat miraculous if the conventional wisdom and what everyone else is doing allows us to go back to school before Monday, April the 13th. I hope I'm wrong. It might be longer than that. I really hope I'm wrong. But we have a plan in place, even if it's longer than that, or if it's that day, Monday, April 13th, or if it's Monday, April the 6th, or down the road, we have a plan in place through our virtual learning program that we're instituting here at the school for kindergarten to fifth graders. And I just want to speak to you in some generalities about the virtual learning program right now. a meeting with our teachers tomorrow morning here at the school, and I will have a video prepared and sent out to you with an email with some details about how the virtual learning program is going to work so that it's a traditional school day. It will require some, maybe some inconvenience for you as a parent. I don't think it's that much. As it relates to children being online, our traditional school day will move starting next week. On Tuesday, March the 24th, it will move to, the school day will start at 8:30 online. The teacher will be able to see the students will be able to see the teacher and the other students, and the teacher will monitor that through Zoom. It's an online video platform that allows us to be live, and it allows us to record and allow your children to see it later in the day. So you might say to me, one of the biggest problems is, well, what if I can't have my child watch or be live with the teacher when it's live? Well, it's going to be recorded, and we want to highly recommend that they be live for the day. But if something comes up and they can't be, then that will be a solution. You might say, well, we don't have 2 computers and I have 2 kids at the school, or 3. We have some extra computers that we'll be willing to loan out to you, and we'll tell you more about a pickup time where you can come and pick up work that will get them through the next 2 weeks starting next week. But just in generalities, we feel like we have a good program that will allow the kids to complete the curriculum, even if we're only out for 2 weeks or we're out for 3 or whatever, so that we can come back to school as soon as possible, and I'll be updating you about that, to allow the program to continue to go on and allow our relationships with our teachers and students, and the students and the other students to continue to be strong, to allow us to continue to disciple your children, and to finish our year without taking a massive hit and having to go to school into late May or into June. I don't know about you, I don't really want to do that. I don't think it's what's best for the students, and moreover, I think students sitting at home the next 2 weeks just biding their time and playing video games, not that there's anything wrong with that in bite-sized pieces, but I think that us continuing on with the school year and keeping the kids engaged, there's a lot for kids there's too much time on their hands, and we want to keep them engaged and keep them working. Ideally, we would love for them to be here to do that, and I can assure you that as soon as I can find a way to make that happen and know that I'm not endangering anyone, you will be the first one to hear about it, and we will stop the virtual learning program and move back to our traditional school model here at the school building. So just wanted you to know, to wrap up, the Little Warriors program is going to remain open. I will say one caveat to that is we are waiting to hear back from our evaluator. We're evaluated and monitored by the Early Childhood Department of the Tennessee Department of Education. So we're waiting for some additional guidance that will come from them tomorrow about best practices that we will certainly be following. But we'll continue to be open with that. And if there's anything that changes on that, and I'm sure there will be some updates, so you'll hear from me or from Miss Ginger about that. And our school for kindergarten to 5th grade will be closed next week, March the 23rd to 26th. There will be no Fun Friday, or Focus Friday rather, next Friday the 27th. There'll be no Focus Friday for kindergarten and up. And then we'll be closed on Monday and Tuesday of the following week. And I'm assuming right now that we're going to be closed on April the 1st and April the 2nd as well. That's a Wednesday and Thursday. But the governor right now is asking all schools to close through the end of the month. And I think that we're going to hear something probably later this week or first part of next week about schools being closed, probably on the 1st and 2nd as well. And of course, because we're doing this virtual learning program, we'll continue on with that for that Wednesday and Thursday as well. And then we'll make some decisions from there. But I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I want you to know that I believe that you'll be pleased with the virtual learning program and allowing kids to continue to learn. I know that you're going to have questions about that, so if you would hold off on your questions about it in too much detail until I can have this meeting with our teachers in the morning and then get you some more details, both in on paper and in a video later tomorrow, then we'll get things set up, and we're excited about continuing the school year. We're praying for all of you, praying for your kids. We're excited for at least being able to see each other daily starting next week, and continue to engage with our teachers and students and seeing kids grow in their academic ability. their spiritual ability and their growth and their will, their desire to work hard and to give it their best effort for God's glory. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I hope you have a good night.